Hello. Welcome to Pokemon HeartGold, flying type only hardcore Nuzlocke. Now, before we dive in, let's quickly discuss the Nuzlocke rules. If a Pokemon faints, it is considered dead and cannot be used anymore. We must catch the fast flying Pokemon in each area. We have to nickname every Pokemon for some attachment. We cannot use items in battle. We can always play on set mode. And there are level caps based on the next gym leader or major fight's ace. Now then, let's dive in to HeartGold and use some flying types. Now starting off at Professor Realm's, none of these starters evolve into flying types, but we pick Cyndaquil so that our rival will have Totodile. Over on Route 1, we encounter a shiny Pidgey! So we beat it down a little bit with Cyndaquil, throw the Pokeball, and we catch Pidgey, nicknaming it Hello, the first member of the team. Over on Route 2, we catch a Spearow. The Spearow is gonna be called Microwave, although I did have trouble spelling Microwave at first because I didn't know if we could fit Microwave in the count of characters. On the Route 3, we catch Caterpie. We throw a Pokeball at it a few times and eventually it stays in. And we nickname Caterpie a Kettle. In Dark Cave we catch a Zubat because Zubat is in a lot of games and I like Zubat. It's also a flying type. And we nickname Zubat Bookcase. Nope, Bookshelf. And then just outside of Violet City we encounter a Hoppip, who we catch quite easily. The grass flying cottonweed Pokemon joins our team under the name of Sofa. With our team standing at a count of 5, we face off against Gym Leader Faulkner and show him who the better flying type user is. Microwave spams Fury Attack through Pidgey and does some damage to Pidgeotto. Bookshelf bites, and we switch out into Pillar, who fires off some Gusts and a Quick Attack. Then we switch out into Kettle, who gets off a Stun Spore and begins to spam Confusion all the way until Pidgeotto faints, and we get our first gym badge. Then while we are still in Violet City, the mysterious egg we were given hatches, giving us a Togepi. Obviously we can't use Togepi just yet because it is just a normal type, but we will be able to evolve Togepi with the power of friendship to get a useful Togetic. And we of course nickname our Togepi Frying Pan. Then over in Slowpoke World we face off against Team Rocket Executive Proton. Microwave Fury attacks through Zubat. He sends out his Coughing and Microwave keeps going for Fury Attack. And it just brings Coughing down into the yellow, past the yellow, down into the red, we get Poison and one more finishes it off. And we are now ready for Gym Leader 2, Bugsy. Bugsy brings out his Cypher, we bring out Pillar, and we begin to lower his accuracy. We bring it down 2, we swap out into Microwave, who begins to go for Aerial Ace, almost faints, so we switch out into Bookshelf, who is able to take out Cypher with a Wing Attack, and this battle is ours. He brings out his Metapod, Bookshelf stays in, Wing Attacks. He brings out Kakuna, Bookshelf Wing Attacks, and we have officially got our second badge, because that was not going to be a threat. On our way out of the town, we face off against our rival Silver. Silver starts off with his Ghastly, we bring out Bookshelf, who bites straight through Ghastly's entire health bar. He brings out Croconaw, we go for a Supersonic to get the Confusion. Bookshelf takes that with some Wing Attack. He brings out his own Zubat, we switch out into Pillar. Pillar goes for Gust, brings it into the yellow. And then we go for some Quick Attacks, killing the Zubat and winning the battle. Next up, Whitney, the notorious Run-Ender. We poison Clefairy, set up Swords Dance with Sofa, and we make sure that we are ready to go. We have a little bit of a stalling contest with Clefairy before Miltank comes in. We pop their Lumberry with Poison Powder, and then we bring out Pillow to lower their accuracy with Sand Attack. Then we switch out into Bookshelf to take a hit with freaking Frying Pan, who has evolved. We use some Charms and some Sweet Kisses to confuse it and make it weaker. And finally, after a lot of switching around and some paralysis, we were able to bring in Microwave, who brings it into the yellow, but it heals up. The Microwave goes again. Microwave ends up in the red, so we switch out into Frying Pan. Frying Pan confuses and fires off extra sensories, and we eventually manage to take out this demon count. Then we face off against our rival Silver once more. Bookshelf bites through Ghastly, confuses Magnemite, hits it with a wing attack but gets paralyzed, so we switch out into Sofa. We begin to set up with Sofa, but Sofa gets paralyzed and brought into the yellow. So we switch in Frying Pan to Metronome with a raw attack before getting paralyzed, so Kettle comes out, confusion, straight through Magnemite and Zubat. We paralyze Croconaw, and then we bring out Microwave, who is able to take it out, avoiding the Ice Fang. Next up, Morty, the Ghost type gym leader. We bring out Bookshelf, who is now a Crobat, and we bite through Ghastly and through Haunter. He brings out Gengar, and we bite, bring it into the yellow, but he pops Citrus Berry, switches out into, and then we switch out into Frying Pan, who's able to take out Gengar with some extra sensories. He brings out his Haunter, and we just fire off 2 more extra sensories and get the 4th gym badge. Whoop whoop. Next up, Chuck, the fighting gym leader. We are not scared, there is no fear here. We have the advantage, and he has 2 Pokemon. We send out Microwave, he brings out Primeape. We go for Aerial Ace, bringing it into the yellow. He goes for Double Team, but that doesn't matter, Aerial Ace takes it out. And he brings in his Poliwrath, and we keep going for Aerial Ace. He surfs, and we stick in, going for Aerial Ace as he starts trying to get off Focus Punch. But we just keep breaking that with Aerial Ace as he heals up. And he walks in on that Focus Punch, and he loses the battle because of it. And just like that, 5 badges acquired. Over at the Lake of Rage, we encounter the shiny Gyarados. We have caught a Gyarados because I used one for surfing, but we didn't use it in any battles, so we catch this Gyarados after a bit of a battle, and we nickname him Fireplace. Next up, we face off against Team Executive Petrol. Petrol brings out a Zubat, and we bring out Frying Pan. Frying Pan is going to go for extra sensory, taking Zubat straight out. He brings out Coughing and goes down to another extra sensory, and then Raticate goes down to a few more. And we are on to our next battle against Ariana, but this time we have Lance as backup. He brings out Arbok and her ally brings out Drowsy. We bring out Frying Pan, who is able to tear through her Arbok. He brings out Murkrow, and we go for Metronome, getting Dragon Reaping into yellow. We go for a Sensory, taking out Grimer, as Lance comes down on Murkrow, taking it out. We pick up the move Ancient Power, getting rid of Metronome. And finally Ariana brings out Gloom, who we are able to hit with an extra sensory. And then Dragonite hits it with Flight, and we win! Next up, Price, the Ice-type gym leader. We bring out Frying Pan, we fire off all 5 of our Ancient Powers. Aiming for the Omni Boost, we get it once, which is enough. We then take out Seal with extra sensory, but we keep using Wish just to keep our health high. As he brings out Dugong, we set up with another Wish, and this is basically a battle of attrition. Can we survive long enough to take him out when he has Rest and we have Wish? Thankfully we do, and we are able to switch out into Fireplace, who hits Piloswine with a couple of surfs, and we get our 6th gym badge. Next up is Jasmine. Now Jasmine is scary. She has 2 electric types. However, we have a frying pan, who is going to be very literal because it can learn flamethrower that we picked up from the Voltorb Flip Corner Man. We put on the choice specs on frying pan, and we proceed to flamethrower through both Magnemites. She brings out Steelix, and we go for more flamethrowers. Brings it into the red, and then there's another one, takes it out, and that is how we get our 7th gym badge. All thanks to frying pan, frying the competition. Then we face off against Petrol again. He has a full team of coughing and wheezing. We have a frying pan, who is able to extrasensory through most of them actually. Take out a coughing or wheezing, then we switch out into Bookshelf to reset the accuracy. Bookshelf takes out coughing with a wing attack. We switch back into frying pan, who takes out another coughing, a second coughing, and the third coughing. And just like that, Petrol is defeated. Then we face off against our rival Silver once more. He brings out Golbat, we bring out Bookshelf. Bookshelf is able to take it out with a couple of wing attacks. He brings out Magnemite, we bring out Frying Pan, who flamethrows straight through. He brings out Sneasel, Frying Pan sneers in, and flamethrows through it. Then he brings out his Feraligatr. We swap in Microwave to take the hit, we swap in Pillow to take another hit. And then we remember we have a neutral, so we bring out Fireplace and we bite until it's in the yellow, and then Bookshelf is able to take it out. Finally he brings out Haunter and Bookshelf takes out a single bite. Proton. Proton is supposed to be an executive, but Proton has 2 Pokemon. He's not a very good executive. He brings out Golbat, we bring out Fireplace. Fireplace goes through Ice Fang, taking Golbat into the red, and then we hit through Confusion, taking it out. He brings out his Wheezing, and we fire off a Surf, get hit ourselves through Confusion, then we fire off an Aqua Tail, bring it into the red, and then we bite it, taking it out. Then Ariana, she has Arbok, we start with Bookshelf, we switch out into Frying Pan. We get paralyzed, but we're able to fire off an extra sentry, bring it into the yellow red, and then take it out. He brings out Murkrow, we switch out into Fireplace, firing off an Ice Fang, taking it straight out. Then she brings in her Vileplume, and we switch out into Bookshelf. Bookshelf resists Mega Drain and takes it out with a couple of wing attacks. Finally we face off against Team Rocket Executive Archer. He brings out Houndour, we bring out Fireplace. Fireplace goes for an Aqua Tail, taking Houndour straight out. He brings out Houndour. Fireplace fires off an Aqua Tail, misses, fires off second, doesn't miss, takes out Houndour, levels up, and then he brings out his Coughing. We switch out into Frying Pan, fire off an extra sensory, and take Coughing out. Next up is the 8th gym leader, Claire. She brings out Gyarados. We take that down with Frying Pan's Ancient Power. Frying Pan brings Dragnet into the yellow. Fireplace takes it out with an Ice Fang, takes out the second one as well. She brings out her Kingdra, we bring out Surfer, set up a Leech Seed, and we begin to set up Swords Dances and Synthesis. Basically just stalling through Kingdra's hit points, firing off a Bullet Seed every now and then until we are eventually able to take it out. And we have gathered all 8 gym badges. Outside Claire's gym we encounter our final capture for this run, a Gligar. I like Gligar a lot. I wish we could have used Gliscor, but we couldn't get the item as far as I'm aware until post game, so we didn't. But eventually we throw an Ultra Ball and Gligar stays in, joining the team under the name of Cabinet. And that is the final capture of this run. We face off against our rival one last time. Frying Pan takes out Sneasel and Magneton with Flamethrowers, and we switch in Fireplace against his Feraligatr, bringing it down into the red. We switch out into Pillow, who's able to quick attack and take it out. He brings out Kadabra, and we go for a Fly, taking it out eventually after a few flies and some quick attack. He brings out Golbat, we go for a Fly again, taking it out. Finally he brings out Haunter, and we switch out into Bookshelf. He curses and we bite it in half. And the Elite Four is here. First up, the Psychic Specialist Will. We start out with Fireplace, fire off an Ice Fang, and get the freeze on Zaku, allowing us to take it out very easily. He brings out Jinx, we go for a waterfall, bring it to the yellow, he heals up, we hit it with a waterfall, bring it to the red, he hits the psychic and we take out Jinx. He brings out Executor, we switch out into Cabinet. Cabinet dodges a Hypnosis, fires off a Sword Dance, and then fires off an X-Scissor, bring it into the yellow, tanks the psychic and takes it out. He brings out Slowbro and we think about staying in with Cabinet, but eventually we decide to switch out into Sofa. Sofa is able to fire off a Leech Seed and begin the stalling battle against Slowbro. We switch out into Pillow, fire off a couple of sand attacks so that even if it does go for an attack instead of setting up, we can dodge it, and then we just go for flies until eventually Slowbro falls. Finally, he brings out his Xatu, we stay in with Pillow, going for a fly, dodging a psychic. We switch out into Frying Pan and we fire off an Ancient Power, bringing it into the red. He pops a berry, bringing it up into the yellow. We switch out into Surfer, fire off a Leech Seed, survive an area on 3 hit points. We swap out into Fireplace as he heals, and we fight through confusion with Ice Fang, eventually taking out Xatu with the Leech Seed drain. Koga comes out, who is basically a bug type specialist with his team, and so we start with Pillar, who takes out Ariados in a fly and a quick attack. Then he brings out his Fortress, we go for fly, he sets up a toxic spike and protects the fly on the come down. So we switch out into Frying Pan. Frying Pan fires off a flamethrower, taking out Fortress with ease. He brings out Muck, and we go for a flamethrower. He minimizes and we go for another flamethrower. He goes for Toxic and we go for another flamethrower. We bring him into the yellow, but we decide to switch out into Bookshell as he keeps going for minimize. We try and go for Confuse Ray but miss. His minimize keeps going, and so we're able to fire off a wing attack. We keep missing and he brings Bookshelf into the yellow, and so we decide to switch out into Cabinet. Cabinet sets up another Swords Dance, and then another, and at +4 we begin to go for Feint Attack. He goes for Toxic, but one more Feint Attack takes Muck out. He brings out his Venomoth and we go for a Slash, bring it into the yellow. We survive Psychic and take it out, just surviving the Toxic. He brings out his Crobat and we switch out into Fireplace. Fireplace pops the Intimidate and then goes for Ice Fang. He goes for Wing Attack, he pops a Berry and we take it out with a couple of more Ice Fangs. After a Dragon Dance, of course, because it's a Gyarados and we have to use Dragon Dance. We actually get the freeze and that's how we take out the Crobat. Next up, Bruno. Bruno might not seem like a threat because he's a fighting specialist, but a lot of them have rock moves. Hitmontop is not one of them, so we set up a wonderful Leech Seed and then we get to +6 with Swords Dance. We go for a Synthesis to bring us back up into the green, and then we make sure we're fully healed as he goes for counter, and then we fire off a Bullet Seed after a quick attack as he brings out his Onyx. We fire off Bullet Seed and we take him out with a free hit. He brings out Hitmonlee, we predict a Blaze Kick, switch out into Fireplace who takes the Blaze Kick, but we are actually incorrect, and he goes for Swagger. Fireplace cuts through it with a Dragon Dance, gets in the red but we snap out, we go for Waterfall, take out Hitmonlee. He brings out Hitmonchan at +2, we're able to take it out with Waterfall, and he brings out Machamp, and we go for another Waterfall, taking it out, winning the fight with a very low health Gyarados. Finally we have Karen. Karen starts off the fight with Umbreon and we start out with Sofa, setting up a Leech Seed, and then we switch out into Fireplace. She begins to double team and we begin to use Dragon Dance. She hits us with a Payback, but we haven't actually hit her. So we go for a second Dragon Dance, as Leech Seed keeps us healthy. We go for a third. He fires off Confuser, but we predict that with a Person Berry, and we begin to use Waterfall to take out Umbreon. He brings out Houndoom, and another Waterfall takes it out. He brings out Murkrow, and we fire off an Ice Fang, taking out Murkrow. He brings out Vileplume goes down to an Ice Fang. And finally, she brings out her Gengar, and we go for another Waterfall, getting us the win against Karen, and meaning that all we have left is Lance, the champion. Finally, we reach Lance's awesome little, like, throne room looking place, and with our original starter behind us, we step into the arena. You are challenged by Champion Lance. He starts with Gyarados, we start with Pillow. Pillow goes for Sand Attack, dodges a Ice Fang. It takes a second Ice Fang as we keep firing off Sand Attacks. We manage to basically bring Gyarados down into -6 before firing off a Roost, dodging a Waterfall, getting to full health with Pillow, and then switching out into Fireplace. Fireplace begins his reign of terror by Dragon Dancing as Gyarados continues to miss thanks to the power of Sand. We manage to get all the way to +6, only taking a couple of hits before we fire off an Ice Fang into Gyarados, bringing it into the red. He heals up as we fire off a second, and then we go for Strength, taking out Gyarados. We bring out Aerodactyl and we fire off a Waterfall, getting the Oko. He brings out his first Dragonite, we fire off an Ice Fang, taking it out. He brings out his second, another Ice Fang. His third meets a similar fate. And finally, he brings out his Charizard, and we fire off a Waterfall. Now I know that may have been a little anticlimactic, but I did not see another way that we could have won that fight. But thank you all very much for watching. We beat a run, deathless already. Flying types are awesome. We had 2 shinies, it was really cool. But yes, thank you all very much for watching. I do hope you have enjoyed. If you had, feel free to hit that like and subscribe button. Let me know what your favourite part was down below, or maybe let me know who your favourite team member was. I think my favourite had to be Pillow. He was there from the start, carried us straight through to the end. And with that, I will see you all for the next run. Goodbye.